Hey, Sterile Processing Universe, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Fighting Dirty. My name is Hank Balch. This is my special guest, Justin Poulin. And we've got a great episode that we're going to talk to you about today, moonlighting with the sterile processing skills and expertise that you're gaining in your hospital today, but leveraging those skills to make a little money on the side, potentially grow your career in other directions that you may not have ever imagined. There is tremendous opportunity no matter who you are, where you are, or what your secondary skills are. I hope that this video encourages you and inspires you to think bigger than just your 9 to 5.
You know, that's a really great point, Hank, because one of the things that this industry needs even more of is passion. If we're really going to drive this industry forward, we need to be fostering the passionate. We don't have any room to be infighting or competing against each other in that way. It really needs to be set up so that we are taking advantage of the people who are hungry, who want more, not only for their own careers, but want more for this industry. And we here at Beyond Clean really appreciate that. And we hope that we can inspire you today not to limit yourself or think this is shift work. I punch in, I punch out, I want more, but I really don't know what I'm going to be able to do to really push this industry forward. And a common place that many professionals start with is just speaking at conferences. But I will say this is not the only way for you to contribute your passion. And some people are just not comfortable being in front of an audience. So you obviously overcame that hurdle, but it started by writing.
Right,
and it started by you refining what your message was.
That's right.
And what you had to say. And so I think once you figure out who you are and what you have that's unique to bring to the table, that helps you get out of that box and do some creative things. But starting with conference speaking is not a very comfortable place all the time, and you're kind of putting yourself out there for criticism. So there are lots of ways that I think sterile processing professionals can contribute to the industry, moonlight, so to speak, whether it's paid or unpaid. And I'm going to start right there. If you want to moonlight, you've got to be doing it for the right reasons. And if it's to make extra money, I got to tell you it's the wrong reason.
Well, the phrase out there outside of our industry, this is kind of universal. It's called the gig economy. It's what you see in Upwork, what you see in Fiverr. It's these folks who have a day job, just like you do in sterile processing, work a 9 to 5. But they love what they do so much that they want to do it more. They want to do it in other creative ways. And so they source those skills outside. So that's what we're talking about today. Moonlighting in sterile processing. If you could get an Upwork account that was a sterile processing expert, right? There's a number of things you could do outside of just speaking, even like Justin said, writing, but there's video content just like you're watching right now that has tremendous value in the industry, but there's graphic design, there's SEO, any skill under the sun that has to do with promoting, creating, or distributing content is a potential skill that you can use. And frankly, there's folks online you've probably seen that make little buttons for their departments, and they sell them online that say things like, I'm a proud sterile processing technician.
Simple efforts towards goodwill. It's not that you can't make money, but it's not going to shine through your passion if that's your primary reason for doing it. I love the buttons. I think that just absolutely, it's something that's small and it's repeatable, and you don't want to all of a sudden sink under the pressure of trying to keep up with your success, because if you're going to do good, you're going to have repeat business, or you're going to have more people become interested. Maybe it does lead to something that you do full-time eventually, but the key part is also sharing your subject matter expertise.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought you were going to quote Gary Vee earlier, and I'm going to quote him now for you. But, Gary Vee talks about if you really want to grow in a particular niche and you want to show that you've got skills, if you're not willing to do it for free first, and you're really not serious about that target for the direction of your career. If you think that I've got to be paid first before I do any of that, before I waste my time doing those things, then people will not value you, again, for the passion that Justin is mentioning. But if you can show that you will do it regardless of compensation, because you love to do it and because you're good at it and you can show that to the industry, you will get people's attention, and other companies, other organizations will start reaching out and saying, I want you to do that for me. I want you to do that for my brand. And in fact, Beyond Clean has done that and is doing that in the industry today.
We never expected it to become a business. When we did the podcast, it was a labor of love, and it evolved into what it is today, mostly because you and I were like, how can we take it to another level? How can we take it to another level? But that's the passion part. The passion we didn't make any money doing the podcast.
Right.
And, the passion far outpaced any business aspects of what we were doing.
So wherever you are today and thinking about that next step in your career or in this industry, we want to challenge you to think outside of the box. I know that's kind of cliche, but just under 5 years ago now, if you would have said, start a sterile processing podcast, people would have thought that you're a little crazy. But if you would have done it, look at the revolution that has happened now just with sterile processing podcasting. There's a number of sterile processing podcasts out there today. There were none 5 years ago.
And there'll be more tomorrow.
Right, and that's just one example of a particular thing or project that you could do. We've talked about it on previous interviews. 10 years ago, if you wanted to find a sterile processing t-shirt, good luck. Now the t-shirts are everywhere, and everyone is selling t-shirts that have to do with sterile processing. So whatever that niche is, whatever that passion is, there is a way to convert that into increased opportunity for growth and eventually increase opportunity for financial gain.
So the last thing I'll say on that is think of a particular skill or talent that you have or something that you do at home that you just naturally do to occupy your free time that you enjoy. Honestly, Hank, for me, it was podcasting. I've been podcasting since the early 2000s in the sports industry just for fun. But I always thought, what if I brought this into my professional life? What would that look like? Of course, it took our partnership for that to happen.
Right.
But and that would be the other piece. Look for other people that share similar interests, who have similar abilities or bring a unique skill set that can be combined with yours. But if there's something you enjoy doing with your free time, boy, does it make it a lot easier for you to take Gary Vee's advice.
Right.
Be willing to do something without having the money up front because, hey, I'm already doing it anyway. I'm just going to apply it and do good for sterile processing.
If you're watching this video and you're encouraged or inspired, or if you have more questions on what do I do with this idea, what do I do with this passion, we'd love to help you out if we can. You can find me at hank@beyondclean.net. You can find Justin at justin@beyondclean.net. Or you can just send an email to the company at info@beyondclean.net, and we would love to give you more direction and encouragement on how to moonlight, how to grow this side hustle, if you will, for whatever it is, to take that next step wherever that's going to lead you. Until next time, thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Continue to fight dirty, and we'll see you again soon.